Hey, I'm Nate Navarro. Thank you for watching my budget bass shootout. We'll start by comparing the sounds of each bass back to back, and then we'll compare other aspects such as build quality, feel, and overall value to help you find a beginner bass that's right for you. It's important to note that each of these basses has a standard scale length of 34 inches. If you're looking for someone who's under 5 feet tall or their arms are maybe on the shorter side, try checking out short scale basses. I have a link for that in the description. Alright, let's jump into the sounds. For this video I'm running through my Gensler amplification Magellan 800 head into the Bass Array 210-3 SLT and Bass Array 15-3 SLT cabs. I'm capturing the audio with a Shure Beta 52A, AKG D112, and an AKG P2. I have links for all of my gear listed in the description. Now let's go through my 12-point inspection of each bass so that we can give out ratings. These ratings reflect the state of each bass just as they arrived, right after unboxing and tuning up. I could have given the basses a proper setup, which would have helped their scores, but I didn't want to assume that whoever orders one of these would be able to do that same type of work themselves. So I left the basses just as they were, for the inspections and also for the sound recordings you just heard. Alright, starting with the Ibanez GSR 200 SM. The action, or height of the strings, is all good except the G string, which is too low and getting a lot of fret buzz. Each string is worth 1 point, so that gets a 3 out of 4. Only one string is intonated properly, so that gets a 1 out of 4. The neck was perfect, the strings feel about average for a budget bass, for a 2 out of 3 rating, and the frets are nice and smooth, 5 out of 5. Hardware/fasteners gets a 4 out of 5 because the pots are just a little bit wobbly. I gave the finish a 4 out of 5 because there are some minor blemishes around the neck pocket and at the headstock. For feel, the neck is totally shred-worthy and the right-hand positions are comfortable. And I haven't seen much better within the budget price range, so this earns a 5 out of 5. The bass is balanced well, the edges are nice and rounded, there's nothing that feels like it could cut me if I'm playing too hard. This bass gets a 5 out of 5 for ergonomics. The preamp is active, so it takes a 9-volt battery, which gives you more EQ options and output. Again, it's one of the best I've seen for the budget division, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. For overall quality, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because of some of the points I mentioned earlier. And this brings its total score to 42 out of 50. And now the last rating I'm giving for each bass is its value. In other words, for how much this bass costs, how good is it? I'm getting the value by taking the total score, dividing it by the bass's cost, and then multiplying that number by 1,000 for a nice round number. Keep in mind that the value of each bass is subjective. I came up with this system based on my own preferences, and I purposely left out ratings for how the basses look. I'll leave that up to you. With that said, the Ibanez GSR 200 SM received a total score of 42, divided by its price of $250, and multiplied by 1,000, it gets a value of 168 points. We'll compare all the ratings of the basses at the end of the video. Now moving on to the Glarry GP electric bass guitar. Action gets a 1 out of 4 because it's very high, and its intonation gets a 0 out of 4 because it goes way sharp on every string. The neck is good and has the right amount of bow, but I can see a little gap between the neck and the body, and I think that's the main contributor to the action and intonation issues. So unfortunately, I have to give that a 2 out of 4. The strings feel on the cheaper side, and they pull on your skin more than usual. That's a 1 out of 3. Just about all of the frets are sticking out too far, not enough to cut you, but they're pretty uncomfortable, earning a 2 out of 5. The hardware and fasteners are mostly good. The knobs are a little wobbly, earning a 4 out of 5. Finish/details gets a 3 out of 5 because the pick guard around the neck is sloppy, and the truss rod access hole is rough, and one of the neck screws is getting rusted. The neck doesn't feel as smooth as the others, and the overhanging frets and sticky strings do negatively affect the playability. I gave this bass a 2 out of 5 for feel. It's a 3 out of 5 for ergonomics due to the heavy neck relative to its body, making it unbalanced and overall neck discomfort. The body is very nicely rounded though. I do really like the tone of this bass, but it doesn't have a bridge pickup or an active EQ, making it pretty pigeonholed, earning a 3 out of 5. It earns a 3 out of 5 for overall quality in the budget bass division, bringing its total score to 24 out of 50. And at only $90, this gives the Glarry GP electric bass guitar a value of 267 points. The SQUIER Affinity Series Precision Bass PJ received perfect scores for action, intonation, neck/truss rod, strings, frets, hardware/fasteners, feel, and overall quality. My initial thoughts when picking up this bass are that it feels like it has the weight and weight distribution of an expensive instrument, and it plays really great. I gave it a 4 out of 5 for finish because there's a small chip in the paint at the neck pocket. Ergonomically, I feel like the forearm rest could have a softer rounding. It's a little narrow at the top, which could bug my forearm if I'm playing seated for an extended period of time, earning a 4 out of 5. It's perfectly fine when standing though, and again I really like the balance of the bass. The neck, bridge, and blended pickup options all sound excellent, but there's slightly less flexibility without the active preamp. for a 4 out of 5 rating. This brings the total score to 47 out of 50, and at $230, the SQUIER gets a value of 204 points. The Cort Action Bass Plus received perfect scores for action, neck/truss rod, strings, frets, hardware/fasteners, feel, sound and tonal flexibility due to its great sound and active preamp, and overall quality. One of the strings was a bit off in its intonation for a 3 out of 4, and there was a super small chip in the paint near the neck pocket, as well as a red mark on the neck for a 4 out of 5. This bass has very well balanced weight distribution, and it's pretty lightweight. The forearm rest is similar to the SQUIER. It's slightly too narrow, possibly causing discomfort when playing seated for an extended period of time, giving it a 4 out of 5 for ergonomics, and bringing its total score to 47 out of 50. And at $220, the Cort gets a value of 214 points. The Harley Benton PJ-4 HTR Deluxe Series received perfect scores for action, intonation, neck/truss rod, strings, hardware/fasteners, ergonomics, and overall quality. The frets are not quite as smooth as some of the others for a fret rating of 4 out of 5, and it also brought the feel rating to 4 out of 5. The finish and pickguard are perfect except for a black spot on the underside of the neck, giving it a 4 out of 5 for finish/details. The sound is excellent, but slightly less flexible than the Ibanez and Cort that have active preamps for a 4 out of 5, bringing the total score to 46 out of 50. At $130, the Harley Benton gets a value of 354 points. To sum things up, here are all of the basses with their total scores, prices, and value points. I wish you the best in finding a beginner bass that's good for you. Thanks for watching my budget bass shootout. I'm Nate Navarro. Take care.